You poured your heart and soul into a poster. You spent hours picking colors, finding fonts, moving around the logo like 6 times because it just felt off. And then you show it to someone and then they just look at it and go like, oh, what am I supposed to look at? Yep, instant gut punch. We've all been there. It's okay. Today I'm pointing out the sneaky mistakes that make posters flop and how to fix them without feeling like you need a design degree. And trust me, we're going beyond the usual use contrast, use hierarchy. We are diving into the psychology of why people look and where they look, how to guide their eye in a way that actually works. Spoiler, it's a lot cooler than just slapping an arrow. Okay, first things first. People don't actually read posters. They scan. Your brain is basically saying, okay, I don't have time for this. And it jumps around in patterns that it knows. Some classic examples is like the F pattern or the Z pattern. But here's the thing. I'm not just telling you to copy textbooks. Think about natural flow. Think about where does the eye actually want to go first. Okay, here's a quick example. Do you see that? Looking at this, your eye just flares around like a puppy in a puddle. No guidance. Now, let's just move like one bold element, a small icon, okay, maybe like a highlighted headline, and boom, look at this. Suddenly your gaze flows naturally. White space isn't just empty space. It's the breathing point. I like to call it the eye hammock. It gives your eyes somewhere to rest. And that's why the important stuff, it feels way more powerful. Okay, quick story time. One time I had to redesign a poster where everything on the page literally screamed for attention. One tweak, shifting headlines, giving it breathing room, and suddenly people were actually reading it. How do I know this? It's because we put a QR code, that way we could track the amount of people that interacted with the poster. Like genuinely noticing it. And yes, I totally did like a happy little puppy dance. Next, typography. Here's the truth. Your font choices, they literally speak. Too many fonts, bad hierarchy, clashing weights. These could destroy your poster. That is like the visual noise of your poster screaming in like 5 different languages. No one wants that. Let's talk about the psychology angle. A bold sans, that equals urgency. A serif, that equals sophistication. Playful scripts, they're very casual. Spacing between letters, that tiny detail, it could either calm your eye or give it whiplash. Don't just stack font sizes, give it rhythm, staggering, subtle weight shifts. Even a slight rotation that could really guide the viewer's eye better. Okay, demo time. Here we have a dense text block. First we'll work on the headline, then maybe a subtle shift of the subheader, and the body will give careful spacing. And see? Suddenly it's very readable. And fun fact, reading could feel really good when the text is working with you. I had a poster once that had 7 different fonts. Why? Because the client wanted variety. And this was in my mind, of course. But I'm like, honey, this isn't a font buffet. Cut it down, create rhythm. And so I had to talk them down from that. And then they saw how the magic actually happens. And we have to talk about color. Most people treat it like decoration. Nope, that's wrong. Color guides the attention. Psychology 101. Warm colors, they pop. And cool colors, they'll recede. High contrast equals priority info. Simple. My tip is to introduce visual breathing. Even a super vivid, colorful poster, it benefits from having neutrals on it. It gives your eye a chance to relax. And it makes your focal points feel even stronger. I once had a client that insisted on making every single word bright red. And when they said that, my brain, it checked out. It left the building. I was able to get them to tone the poster down like 80%. And then we only highlighted the call to action. And that was way more powerful than the original. The poster came to life. The moral of this story, restraint is power. Remember, neon pink for everything doesn't equal edgy. It equals a headache. Okay, so next let's talk about images. Images are always the secret conversation of your poster. Bad images, inconsistent icons, too many visuals, that equals chaos. People are drawn to two things, emotion and motion, and sprinkle in a few directional cues. Even a static image could guide the eye if you think about it. Use imagery to lead the viewers. Lines, shapes, the subject's gaze. It directs the attention naturally. No arrows required. Compare a static poster to one where the subject's gaze looks directly at the headline. Your eye follows naturally. One practical tip that I have for this is keep the icons consistent. Make sure that the imagery matches the mood. One weird, out-of-place element, it could ruin the whole thing. I once saw a poster of a cat in a business suit for a tech seminar. Cute, yes. Effective? Absolutely not. Now let's talk about spacing, the unsung hero. Cramped layouts scream amateur. Misalignment, it makes your brain twitch. Seriously, our eye notices the tiny mistakes. A pro tip for you, spacing equals hierarchy in action. White space, it actually makes elements louder. And a psychology tip that I have for you is that our brains crave order. Proper spacing, subconsciously, it signals trustworthiness and attention to detail. I myself, I have a little rule. If I am looking at a layout and I feel a mini eye twitch, spacing is probably the culprit. This works every time. And finally, cohesion. All the pieces on your poster, typography, color, imagery, spacing, they must work together. It must be cohesive. Cohesion isn't just matching colors and fonts. It is the invisible conversation between elements. Always ask yourself, does this element make the other elements on the page stronger, or does it fight them? Tiny micro adjustments in things like size, weight, position, it can really transform the whole poster. Use this as a quick checklist to think about your viewer. Typography, color, imagery, cohesion. Go down the list on your next project to see if your poster actually works. It's like putting together a pizza. All your toppings have to work together, not fight for your attention. Except, no one here is judging your cheese pool. Posters are really tricky just because your brain decides in a microsecond if something is worth looking at. But if you understand the psychology behind it, visual flow, how tiny tweaks shift perspective, even beginners can make posters that look like a pro designed them. Try some of these tips on your next poster. You will be surprised by how much of a difference a little intention makes. And hey, if you love this, hit subscribe. I got plenty more design hacks coming your way. No boring lectures, just some practical tips that actually work. But that's all I have for now. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!